All right, guys, here we're going to talk about The Punisher, Episode 10, Season 1. This one was pretty good.
It was. It was a little bit of like a mess. I don't want to say the word sloppy, but I'll say it now so that we set the tone for all of my praise that is to follow.
Okay. I think I know what you mean by that.
I fucking love, like, everything from, like, Family Matters to, like, Hercules, like every show, Buffy, everyone's had an episode where they're like, well, that's not how it happened, let me tell you how it happened. And all the people from the show, but they come in, he's like a super, like, biker bully now somehow.
I do like when there's a bigger
or it's
difference.
the person just being like, whatever the fuck, right? So, like...
this was the most true-to-life version of that, I think.
But seeing a version of that applied to, like, the concept to me is so good, because that's what, visual television movies can do for you, because it isn't just telling the story of being like whatever. It's like, oh, he said that. Like the transition from like the senator's interview and like his depiction to like Karen's interview, and she's like, he said what? And well, straighten it out for me, Karen. And she goes, and then it like cuts back, and it's it's everything from her point of view going into like, ooh, I love that so much. But it kind of jumped around. It didn't really feel as there
were parts that felt a little janky. I still think that that Lewis's motivations seem like they were spurred on too quickly from where the character started to where he ultimately ended in a freezer.
I'm a little upset with the fact that has ended now or whatever. I wanted them to draw that out for
I thought there was a lot more potential with that character, and it didn't really get the fruit off that tree I would have liked to.
Is that what you meant? Is that what you thought that I meant by sloppy, or did you mean
no?
Else?
In general, there's a couple of things that I didn't like care for the way they went through, and like the motivations of certain characters, like how the Punisher went about his things, the whole bomb disarming thing. I thought was like I'm like all right, that looks odd and janky.
Okay.
What other parts? The Medina finally realizing that Billy is of course a douchebag.
Yes. Okay.
In a like almost too obvious way, like.
What were your
thoughts? Like, didn't that just feel like forced and rushed? Like, why?
Right. We'll talk about Lewis later.
If he would have just
we'll talk about
like poised his
now.
shot better, he could have fucking done it. He could have killed the Punisher right there.
Okay. So
if like holding the gun and like pretty much saying, "Yeah, I killed everybody."
I know.
What did that solve you?
So like. That's perfect. So, like, Billy and Madani's thing, right? So we're going to say, like, last, episode we said...
last we saw...
did Billy fuck up? Did he say the wrong thing? Wait, does she know this? Does she know that? This whole deal, she seems suspicious. It was this weird, like, ooh, what are they going to do with that?
The payoff was unclear, though.
But in this episode, so, first you get what you think is the payoff. And Madani's like, yeah, these people used to work for Anvil. And he's like... What do you mean? And like he's like, let me, hey, I'll come over later. And she like recoils, and it's like, oh shit, she like does know or whatever. And that would have been like a thing, right?
Then that could have been played off nicely over the course of the next 3 episodes.
Yeah. Then later in the same episode, we get like literally mustache twirling, like I did it. It was war, Madonna. You don't understand. And you're like, wait, what?
But
and
why
what
would
episode
you do
is
it
it?
the
How is
way
this happening?
you did it? If like Billy is a tactical man, he's of the military, he's of the highest level of his own personal, like, fucking, I don't know, what did you call them?
There's a word for it. You're right. Yeah. Mercenaries.
Mercenaries. Yeah.
There's a
soldiers
better,
of fortune.
There's a better word that
what have
I can't
you.
think of for that.
So like you would think if you have the jump on 2 people
that
you want dead, you would turn that corner slowly. You would shoot the Punisher in the face, not wing him because you fired half cocked.
Weird.
And then kill Madani because you just fucking are gonna confess. Like what is your plan here?
Well, and like, is confessing supposed to help you shoot her? Do you want to shoot her? Like, what's going on? The whole thing felt so weird.
You can't let her go unless he plans on fleeing the country and getting out of there somehow, which he doesn't get to do.
Well, and like he's a
prick.
He is a prick, and like I guess Madani didn't say anything or can't say anything yet. As the episode opens and it's like his interview, and he's talking about like what went down or whatever the fuck. So like he's obviously already crafting his lie for like the cops and like the public and like other people and all that shit.
The cop did seem to be on his side. He's like,
I know.
He got his gun pointed at blah, blah. I'm a fucking federal agent who's telling you he's guilty of a crime.
I know.
Do I not supersede the local department? Like,
well, military contractor. Yeah, I was gonna say that's the word. So
private military contractor.
Yeah. So like, why would you believe a like hired security guy that you were very critical of over? It was so hard to get that detective to like go along with the with the concept that like Frank was not a bad guy. But no, Billy's thing was so like. that was super sloppy on his part, definitely.
Too sloppy.
I can't understand because you either have to pretend still the thing is true, but you want to do the other thing, or make it this dramatic confession where everyone has to die or whatever. And it seemed like he was doing.
He wrote
both
the line
at
of
once
both poorly,
in like
where
a weird.
he took the half of each that you wouldn't do if you wanted to actually get away with something.
Right,
but I
nothing
think
is
that we're going to
solved.
suffer from poor plot writing in the next episode, and he's not going to be like arrested. He'll still be free. There'll be no problem.
No, it seems like because he's not arrested yet, and it's already hours after like that.
Yeah.
So everyone's just being like, "Hey, man, okay," and like leaving, and she can't like, "Well, I have no proof. I have to go get proof," or some weird shit like that's gonna happen. Very weird. I would have liked like like you've been saying for it to continue to be teased out, where like she continues to suspect and things don't add up, and then she goes, "Wait a minute," and goes back and checks footage or something, and like figures something out or whatever. Right?
It felt like they just shoved a lot of shit together just to get through it at that moment, and I was like, all right, that could be better. Similarly, I feel the same way about the Lewis character, where I'm like, all right, yeah. He just blows himself up in a freezer. All right, that's a thing.
Well, okay.
And
the only
just do you think there's gonna be like I've not heard backlash, and this has been out for now a little while,
Okay.
but like did the Punisher not go, yeah, kid, do it?
I wrote that
He
down.
fucking condoned suicide.
He said you can. He said that's it. You can do it. That's it, kid. You can do it. Like out the window, like he didn't grab Karen and like run. He like risked their lives and safety to make sure that like Lewis could follow through and had like the. That was really
very strange.
That was really weird, and I'm not sure if I like it or hate it. I usually like dark, horrible things, but that was really weird. That was like not that it's like, well, that's crossed the line. He's like shooting people, who are like pissing their pants and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not like that crosses the line. But that had like a weird feeling that I'm not sure they earned up until that point.
I thought I'm like,
Right.
this is why would you do this? You're like,
why would you kill yourself, or why would you tell the kid?
No, like, hey, I can see why he kills her. You don't want to
Yeah.
spend the rest, like, he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. There's no way.
Yeah,
no
and
way
he's
not.
been
Whether it's a
disgraced
psychiatric
and,
hospital or not, either
yeah.
way. But the way the Punisher puts it, it almost felt like those things where like the girlfriend gets the boyfriend to kill himself, where it's like, your father's going to be so disappointed.
He really laid
you should
it
blah,
on. I
blah,
know.
blah. Just do it, kid.
His
Just
life's
do it. And I'm like,
his life's ruined, Lewis.
whoever
I was
wrote
like,
this episode is who I have the issue with. I'm like, I think this is it's a terrible way. Like,
okay. Interesting.
like, and it's funny if you were
I thought
like,
you meant you have an issue with them, like they have mental problems or whatever.
no, it's
Okay,
just I think it doesn't do anything for the character. If anything, it hurts the
weird,
character.
yeah.
It belittles like suicide. Like it just seems like the whole thing is wrong.
I look at his thing as not the kind of suicide that is usually suicide. I want to give credit to whoever that dude is. His like acting and all that shit in this.
Oh, Lewis?
I don't know if like you feel the same way, but I'm like just him. So like in the beginning, right? He's got like the birds, and he's trying to get them to fucking like, you're free, like go. But there's no dialogue, and there's a long scene with him, and like that I think is like most of like the pre-credit like scene.
Yeah.
And after that happened, I said, oh, he's gonna die this episode, just because of like the thing. But we got a lot of like FaceTime with him. We got a lot of like with the hat down, and then going and be like, can you believe this is happening? And like doing all those things, and I'm like, oh shit, like he's really good. I really wish like he's really effective or whatever you want to call it, right?
I like him.
And then like watching everything spin out and all like the pieces start to come loose and everything to go shitty, where he's like, I have a bomb, and like fucking like getting more and more trapped and lower on like the thing. And then like when he's trapped with Karen and he has to like center himself, and it's that's super awkward when the person doesn't have a bomb. So the scene of him being like, hey, you're having to like recite this like wait like a soldier thing or whatever, and then what's apparently like a later verse maybe in that like cadence or something, like the die like a soldier thing, or like the grim Afghanistan imagery when the women come out to cut up your remains or something, all these like horrible things before he's able to like kill himself and like work up like him with the mask on, like breathing all like nervous, breathing heavy, and like barely being able to do these things. Like I really got a lot of feelings out of his like performance,
which is all the more annoying that they like wrote him off the way they did, because you're like,
Yeah.
this is a decent character. You could have done some things with this. I hated Karen and the wires. I hated.
Oh, yeah.
I hated
Okay.
like.
I like
the
that.
way
No, well,
it cut
okay.
to one awkward wide where like it felt like acting. It was like she couldn't find the wire, like.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
Interesting.
I don't know. Like, and there's nothing ultimately wrong with that. Like, I'm
Okay.
like,
No,
okay.
I understand
And
that.
it's like, it's also a lot on faith that he uses the same color scheme for all of his bombs.
Well, but they call while she's fumbling for the wire, he like just in case you would have a problem with that, whoever wrote the episode was like
said, you told me last time the white wire was the one to pull or whatever.
We're creatures of habit, Lewis. We do the same thing over and over again. It's just like ladies with their goddamn bat. Like they like tied all that dialogue into the fucking thing that it was supposed to. Maybe because like the audience is so fixated on like the wires and like the tension, so maybe they don't even hear the words. It just goes into your head.
But how much more would you have loved this episode if he nods, she pulls the white wire, and they both died?
Ooh,
that'd be a better episode.
I like her character a lot.
I like her character a lot too, but it would mean so much more if something horrible happened.
I also didn't keep track of when she got the gun back.
She took the gun off the ground
and put it in her purse. Okay,
yeah.
Good. I was gonna say
it's not her gun. It was the.
She said something like, "Not technically my gun," and I was like,
"It was the Atlas. What are they called?"
Yeah, Anvil. Ooh,
Anvil.
I almost thought it was Atlas.
It was the Anvil guy, the second one that got shot.
One of the guns that like clattered across the ground, and she like grabbed it. I didn't catch her grabbing it the whole time. Also, I even looked up the actor's heights. She's like 2 or 3 inches taller than Lewis. Because, like, when he's holding her, it's kind of awkward. Her body is, like, slumped weirdly or something like that. And I was like, oh, they don't want her to be, like, taller than him. They want it to be, like, whatever the fuck. So they had her, like, do, like, a weird pose
also, if you're holding somebody, you'd be forcing them into a position.
If you're holding, like, their neck and like, you're shorter, right, it would probably do that anyway. But, yeah, it like, felt a little awkward to me. And then I actually looked it up to make sure that, like, she is just taller than him. It would look... would look weird, maybe.
I'm not surprised her height is easily available. I'm a little impressed that you could find Lewis's height. I feel like he's not famous enough to have it written anywhere.
I hope he gets famous. I like him.
I like him too. You know, he reminds me of a good Randy Mamoli.
Oh God, no one will get that.
No,
it does remind me of that, though, 100%.
Yeah.
And I because he's doing the same things, like what was the movie with that dude? I always forget his name. I think it was Higher Learning, where he goes and shoots people. It's like racial Spike Lee or something.
Oh, I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's that guy, but like has a similar look to that guy with the haircut. Has a similar like whatever eyes and no line, and like the crying and breathing and like red face and all that stuff. Like he was doing the same stuff as that dude, so I can remember him.
Yeah.
But Lewis is dead now. And
I can't say I'm not disappointed about that. I think there could have been a lot more fun things done with that character, but he's gone.
Fun.
Well, like
I
pictured taking him under the wing moment with this, or like a redeeming moment where like I thought Billy was gonna recruit him, like having all of his now people dead that are done for missions. He would have to scrape the bottom of the barrel. Lewis, you still looking for a job? I got something on the QT. Get over here.
No, once you started doing the bombs, right? We had a theory that like there might be something where like it's in Billy's like political advantage, or maybe Agent Orange's advantage to have a bombing take place, so they like unwittingly use him. He's like a Lee Harvey Oswald, where like he ends up being
patsy bitch.
He ends up being the dude and all that stuff. And then him getting like arrested, just screaming no, and like trying to set off the bomb, and snot's coming out of his nose. And then you have him in like the jumpsuit and like the trial and all that, like all this fucking shit. Like, oh, could have been some good shit.
There certainly could have been. And like you could have had a good I think there could have been better things with Billy than how we had this Billy thing. So ultimately, while good things happen this episode, I did find it more disappointing, I think, than not.
Yeah, they kind of blew it in like a lot of ways.
Yeah. How'd you feel about him jumping down with the fire hose?
That's one of my notes.
You knew it was coming. It's kind of like in a cartoon.
This is in a section of my notes called "Retarded Stairwell Showdown."
It's like in a cartoon when you see something a little bit different color and you're like, that's going to be used. That was like so predominantly in the shot
so
that I was like
the hose and said like, that's gonna happen.
I was like, all right, he's either gonna jump with this hose or he's gonna turn it on and it's gonna when it inflates, it like shoots forward. I was like, or it's gonna fly around and like knock people over and he's gonna make a run for it or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I couldn't tell if there was a bone sticking out of his arm.
No, there was
like a piece of shrapnel
of fabric or something. I thought so too, and I got really close to the screen.
Oh wow! Good.
And I was like, is his a compound fracture in his arm?
Is that a reasonable thing?
It's like a weird piece of plastic or cloth on the back end of his elbow.
Okay, so right, but yes,
or the worst looking compound fracture on screen.
Perfect. I'll take a 50-50 on that.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
To me, it looked like his arm just popped out of the socket or something.
Yeah, when he jumped like that and did all that stuff, it was definitely like I liked how much he reacted to like the and all that stuff because like that's what would happen if he had just like gingerly landed on like the steps. I'd be like, what are we watching now? This is crazy. Like I kind of like I like how shitty how much shit he takes basically. It's kind of unrealistic, his ability to bounce back from it, but it's not like because if he dodged every bullet and just like seamlessly made every jump, right? Yeah. I feel like he's the type of guy that like jumps off of something, grabs the edge, has to pull himself up like a little bit, right? It's this weird, it's not this like instant smooth Daredevil flip into the next thing. He took
so many shots to the chest.
Yes.
That it really made me question, because everything up till now, every bullet has gone directly through bulletproof vests.
Oh, God. Okay.
And he's fighting the same group of people. So why are they using different guns now? Like, I understand they were using rifles before.
Did they go right through vests? Who went through a vest?
Everyone that was wearing a vest was shot and killed.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think anyone other than
in like the vesticle area.
Yeah. I don't think anyone other than a main character has ever survived a chest shot.
I don't recall that ever being highlighted as like a thing.
It's like stormtrooper uniforms. They're actually useless. The difference here, these are pistols, obviously, not the rifles we were used to in the last shots.
Yeah.
Like a better potential of armor piercing.
Semi-automatic. So there's the scene after Lewis and so after the explosion goes off, Lewis and Karen he like shuffles her into the elevator. I love that he went into the elevator and like set something to leave like have the doors stay open.
I want to know what did he actually do.
They didn't really show what that was.
Most of the things you would do there would make that siren-y noise, like
something, right? Yeah.
Noise.
It was a little James Bondy, a little like I have gadgets now too, but
the same result could have been solved by putting a yardstick on the ground, like anything that breaks the sensor. If it can't if something's in the way, they don't close.
Okay. Yeah. But they get into the elevator, and then it's like ding, the doors close, and now it's just Anvil and like Frank.
Yeah.
And they go, oh fuck, and like start to shoot at him or whatever. And he like takes hits,
rolls
in the
that
back.
body.
So that like looked awesome and like was great. But he took a lot of shots there.
Sure.
And I can't believe nothing winged him in anything outside of like a vest or like an area.
Well, they're all professionals hitting center mass.
Still, it's like
although
crazy
everything they said earlier was, well, shoot him in the face.
Kind of, right? I don't know. Like, it's bordering on like the unrealistic. Like I just praised it for like
is it everything. Only bordering?
Well, no, I mean like the ability for me to like be okay with how
the suspension of disbelief is becoming a little bit heavy.
My inability to suspend in certain cases, right? Because like, okay, the ending shot, I have like a problem with of him on like the zip line for no reason or whatever. They made it seem like
I didn't have an issue with that.
They played a music cue. They had
like
Karen.
It was the A-Team.
They had they had Karen set up the line. Do you really think Frank would go somewhere and not have a way out? And then it's like does a thing like no one like all this shit went down and there's no like, oh shit, like who set that up? Where's that? How'd that happen?
I don't know that you would notice that, honestly.
I don't know that you wouldn't notice it. I've never noticed one.
Some of the things that like go unnoticed are like ridiculous. In life, or like that guy's climbing a building, and like they don't notice till he's on like floor 30, and you're like, what?
I know, and I'm not saying that in that like this exact thing, someone should have known this exact thing. It's just a crazy solution to this problem. I would have liked some sort of weird like he gets out like Ocean's 11, where he gets out with the team that gets in, or some bullshit like that.
I think that would have been more unrealistic.
But that's the shit that they've already, like, that's how Lewis got in, that's how people do everything. It seems like a normal thing to happen or whatever. I don't know.
I think having it happen more than once in the episode would have been like too much. Like some scriptwriters like, really again? Something else? Can't you just like a helicopter?
Can't you just say a zip line?
Get a helicopter. Like, I wouldn't have minded a thing if like while she was saying, you think Frank Castle was on another way out, you saw like a crossbow fire across and like he was firing the line that he was going to zip down.
Sure.
Like not have it like preset and ratcheted up.
Okay, sure. So let's do that. Let's have her say that, and then he gets to like the roof. Micro's in his ear. He like punches open like a vent, and it's got like a duffel bag in it, and he pulls out a thing and fires it, right? And she's still talking, and then he does it, right? Just something like that.
Yeah.
Like, who set up the line ahead of time? How did he know? What's going on? It's fine to drop me right in the middle of like the episode and not set everything up. It was just like the weirdest. It made me like chuckle when I saw it.
But the Punisher's like a tactical guy. Like so, it honestly that like of the things that have fazed me, that one wasn't at all anything. I would have liked a cool thing with like anything. I like when people are doing things where you see it happen, like the drone flying off with the rope and like it like latches onto something or whatever.
The drone slowly attaching the thing. No, I know, and like I don't know it. I don't have like an actual logical problem with it. I just laughed out loud when I saw him like zzz, like going down the thing. It made me go like, what? Like a whatever.
A one-arm zip line trip though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like what the fuck.
I remember seeing a kid try to do that. Like a friend of ours had one as a kid, and he went out of the treehouse zip line. And like when you go out of a zip line, you drop real quick, and that's if anyone's gonna fall, it's usually right then because you're not used to your full body weight coming down on your hands.
Good to know.
And he just came out, fall, and he just fell right on his back, and there's that. I love those.
You like high because like the zip line is doing this, and it's like the highest distance to fall or whatever the fuck. Yeah. No, that's terrifying.
And like usually because your hands are ripped free, you like send back on a weird fucking trajectory of like, oh, you're gonna be a quadriplegic now.
That would be my move. Is just falling like an idiot. Like
nah, two-hand grip, one over the other like this, safe.
All right. Well, if you hadn't have been there, tell me that. I would have no idea.
I'm here for you.
Let's hope that if I'm ever on a zip line, you'll be right there next to me. Just real quick,
sure.
I really loved Karen and Frank's like solution to like, wait, but there's still like dudes outside. What do we do? And then they have this like fake hostage situation where they're both like I really like when people are like fucked up from like doing fucked up stuff.
Yeah.
All the explosions going off. They all have like nicks and bruises. They're all like bleeding.
Hers looked really good too. The makeup on her was really good.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. I did that makeup. No, like I actually thought that, but I don't like to say everything I like because sometimes you're like that was shitty. But
to mention really like what you were just saying, when the door shuts and they both like fall to the walls, like
I wrote down they like melt into the elevator or like whatever. Because at first like you don't think that Frank suddenly became a bad guy, but you're like, wait, what is this? And then when like his fucking like gives him the boot, like kicks the fucking door closed. Oh, it's great.
When the way he's holding the gun on her too, it's
weird.
Straight up like into her neck. Like you never see that, but I'm like, I guess that's probably the most effective way to do it because now, like, even if you like died, your finger could like fall on the trigger and kill her.
Like that, yeah. I feel like everything that they did because his like bad arm is like just to the side, right? Like everything that was done, she was like helping it make it look like he had her when he didn't have. Like all this weird shit was happening.
Yeah.
Where like they had to like work together to sell it in this weird way.
And I was sold.
And it was still like, okay. Fuck, and I'm like, oh, and they had that like tender moment in the elevator. That was pretty cool. I wasn't sure if they were gonna kiss.
They're gonna get married.
Kiss. Are they gonna get married?
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get married.
Nah, she's gonna die.
Is she gonna die?
No,
I hope she doesn't die.
I think the fans like her too much. She'll not die.
I mean, I liked her from True Blood, and I like her as like an attractive lady.
I did not like her in Daredevil that much, and she slowly started to grow on me, and now I like her.
A lot of her, and it's
I like her in True Blood though.
It's genius in a way, right? Because if I think back to like what did you like about her before, I liked her shooting the henchman of the Kingpin, and I liked her in Punisher. I liked her when they're in like the diner and she's like Frank, and because he's like killing people or whatever. I was like, oh, like shit like that was super awesome. So it's so genius for them to like pick her to like see this through and like recognize that they had this cool thing or whatever. Maybe it was planned from the start. I hope it might be.
How old do you think she is?
She's 32 because I looked up her height.
Oh, there you go.
I know everything about her. No, she's a similar age.
Because she's one of those ones where I'm like, if you were like, she's 23, I'd be like, oh, right. You'd be like, she's 49. I'm like, sure, she is.
I know she has that thing.
Yeah.
No. So earlier when when it cuts from like the senator's story to her story, and it's like just her face, and she's like reacting, to hearing that like that guy was saved the day, and like all the emotions and all of her fucking things that she's going through, and just like he said that really, and like looking back and forth, and like like everything. I'm like, oh, you're such a good actress. I love this.
Yeah, no,
my God.
Yeah,
did we hit everything up?
I think so. We'll
Madani
see what happens
has told her boss about the bug.
Yeah.
Okay, Madani knows about Billy. Frank knows about Billy, honestly, too, because he's in the stairwell and he's like, what'd you do? He's like looking. Billy? He's like hearing, oh! He's like hearing something happening. So everyone knows about everything. Frank knows that Madani talked to Micro.
Yes.
He's like, oh, you talking to someone I know, huh? Or whatever. Like, everyone kind of knows everything now. There's very little that people don't know.
It's all on Front Street. We'll see where that takes us. The next episode
knows the name of Agent Orange. Like, I think everyone...
I think will be a lull at the next episode.
Gonna have to be, right?
And
we're gonna go back to Micro now. He was not in the other episode at all.
Yeah, I think we get more of his family bullshit. more of this and that, and then
Take a breather.
and then we'll have like some super build up for like the ending, like climax.
I think that that's the textbook way to do it. I agree.
I think this one will actually have an ending that I'm not like, oh, you slapped something together.
Of like the whole show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, like if we just like look at the first 10 episodes or so of like all the other ones, right? I don't think that we followed the same like path
No.
where like we didn't go do something else for a while that was pointless because like the Lewis thing is really important to Frank's character. It isn't like some weird thing where now we're going to go do this and then we're going to come back to the main we're going to go solve this problem. Now it's Purple Man again. We're not going to like take like this big, deviation or something like that. So
Yeah.
we're not going to go to a farm and try to solve my skin problem or whatever.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Take care of his
There's
acne.
still time.
Until next time, guys, don't die in a fire, and we'll see you then.